Hi, I'm Steve Morgan, and while I was recording the recent video focused on risk decision making and crisis teams, it got me thinking about the speed with which we have to make some decisions occasionally. And that got me thinking a bit more about the concept of intuition. So in this video I'd just like to spend a few minutes thinking about the role of intuition in our risk decision making within that risk assessment that informs those decisions. So here I am outside Grimsby Minster, and to start I'd just like to reflect on a particular quote by Malcolm Gladwell, who said, "Truly successful decision making relies on a combination between deliberate and instinctive thinking." And it's that instinctive thinking that I want to focus on just for a moment or two with you. Now, the idea of intuition informing our thinking, informing our decisions, can be quite a controversial idea. I can already hear some of the academics amongst you out there approaching a state of apoplexy, perhaps, when I say that intuition is a vitally important part of what informs our assessment, what informs our decisions. You're already thinking to yourselves, well, what about the evidence? You're already saying and imploring me to be focused on the facts. And I'm not going to entirely disagree with you. It's just a matter of nuance between us, perhaps. But facts are vitally important. Let's just spare a thought for a moment for practitioners that are in a situation where they're not in possession entirely of all the facts, yet demands put on them is that they make decisions based on the information that is available to them at any particular moment in time. Now, the really good practitioners will draw on their own professional experience, they'll draw on their life experience in order to process that information that's available to them. So they will bring degrees of intuition into the picture. And what do I mean when I say intuition? Well, intuition is experience. It's variously described as knowledge without conscious reasoning. It's embedded within a much broader clinical reasoning framework. It's coming from somewhere. We just cannot pinpoint the facts at that point in time, but I would rather encourage people to see this as perhaps a little bit more of an alarm bell that's calling us to search out more information, discuss what we know with others in order to perhaps more clearly articulate the facts that are available or that we can search out to underpin our decisions. It's to be used with a large degree of caution in that sense, but it is still vitally important information that we should be acting on in very clear ways. And I would also say that our experienced practitioners are particularly good at maybe even clearly articulating the reasoning behind their decision in a way that delineates what is fact and also what is intuited from those facts. In fact, we even expect our senior clinicians to bring more to a series of facts than we'd expect Joe or Joanna Public to do, that person on the Clapham omnibus. We expect them to bring a range of experience and to be able to look a bit deeper than just the broad statement of fact on the surface. Now, to illustrate this, there is an example from my own case management practice very recently where a person has been talking very much about suicidal ideas, but also of the need perhaps to carry a knife, maybe to stab somebody. Now, this information very recently was given to me second-hand by support workers that are directly involved with the case that I'm thinking. And it is my role to take on board that information, but also to process that alongside other information that they're able to provide broadly across their contact with that individual in the recent day in question. And it's for me to apply my experience, to intuit that information within a broader knowledge of what I know of that person themselves, in order to make some judgment, some decision about how but more importantly the support workers involved directly with him, act within the context of the next 24 hours, 48 hours. And obviously decisions such as these need to be continually reviewed, as should any decision that involves a serious amount of risk. So I'd just like to implore people to seek out the tools, seek out the advice and information that recognises the role that intuition plays, not the entire influence on decisions, but the role it plays in making those decisions. And I would argue that within my positive risk-taking membership site, that there are handouts, information, resources that focus very much on the context of intuition and how I'm presenting it to you at this point in time. So I would ask people to check out the free webinar that is Risk Aversion or Risk Taking, Shifting Your Mindset, that outlines the information, the details of the resources available on that membership site entitled Positive Risk Taking. And in the meantime, let's support people to take risks for positive outcomes.